Hello and welcome back. And I guess this is part 3.5 because the last video got temporarily cut off when I tried to pause it. It's something weird going on with my phone. So now she's in like record label purgatory. She's dealing with stress. It's taking too much on her. She goes back to her place that night with him, and she's frustrated with all that's happening. And then she freaks out and busts um one of the painting. It wasn't a painting. It was the her label posters that were on one of the walls, and her hand starts bleeding, and she's freaking out. And the guy says, "Look, you don't need all of this." He helps her, um, but I can't remember if her mother showed up or he took her from there. But I know that he helped her in that moment. But either way, it ended up leading to them coming to a point where I think the mother showed up, and then the mother, after he left, told her that she couldn't see him no more because it was too much trouble and blah 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 blah. And that's when she just started freaking out and all that kind of stuff. And she gives him a call after the mother leaves, and he picks her up in his car. She packs a bag and she hides in the back of his car, and he drives them all the way to Mexico because you see them pass the New Mexico border. And then she gets out of the back where she was hidden underneath of a tarp underneath on the floor, and they go to this like hotel space, and she's exhausted with the whole situation. Some of y'all are looking at your holiday spouse and their life is looking good, but you don't know what chaos they got going on behind closed doors. Relationships, friendships, family members, all this bringing about confusion where they want peace. Things that aren't making sense. Relationships they trying to hold on to, but the Lord trying to show them they need to get rid of. All this kind of stuff. People showing them who they are and showing their true faces to them. Every season, I lie to you not, when God was preparing to move me on from one season to the next, the Lord will always show you the character of a person before he evacuates that person from your life and you elevate to your next place. So, what ends up happening is they get to the hotel and she's exhausted. She said, "I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna go sleep." And then you see her wake up and she's like, "Oh, what time?" And she thinks she slept like 2 hours or something. Like he said, "You've been asleep for the past 13 hours. Because when you went to sleep, I went and ate this. Then I went back out and I bought this for you because I thought you wanted dinner. But then you slept through that too. And then I didn't want to wake you. So I went for breakfast. So now we're back at lunchtime." She was like, "Oh, wow." He said, "Are you hungry?" She said, "Yeah, I'm good. I've seen this happen. This happened to me before. Where you are grinding and pushing and working on whatever it is you're working on. Because that's the type of mentality that you had, the mindset you had. And you push yourself. You push yourself so hard. You will sit for 14 hours straight and work on something. You ain't never had a problem doing that. And as Christians, uh, when God gives us an idea and says run with it, we supposed to work on it until it's done. I have worked 10 hour, 12 hour, 14, 16 hours straight I was just listening to Instagram reel by one of the prophets that I listened to, and she was talking about you burn the midnight oil. You're the person that sits there and you will work, for you diligently seek. You're the person that's diligently seeking God, diligently doing what He told you to do with your hands. So, but what comes with that is when you diligently seek, you crash afterwards. Sometimes you will crash for 12 and 14 hours afterwards because it's like, I just ran a marathon. I remember one time I was doing something, I had to work on 3 different projects the same day. Got them all completed. But boy, that last 2-3 hours, I was so exhausted. Even when I was working on the prayer course, because I'm working on a prayer course for y'all. I was about ready to fall out that last hour, and the Lord gave me a reprieve because I was gonna finish that last. I had 2 parts to complete. I was gonna finish it that night, and the way God broke me out of that was He had the person that lives with me show up, so I couldn't keep recording. But it allowed me the ability to rest, and I lay down there. I went to sleep, and the next morning I completed the rest of it. These entertainers, these people, I remember I watched a video, a psychology video. I don't even know how it ended up on my thing. Because I guess because I follow a person that is a psychologist, YouTube automatically gave me this video. And it was interesting that this is the one, I ain't seen no videos from these people since that day. And it gave you the 7 signs and symptoms of a controlling personality or workaholic or something like that. And the funny part about it is when I looked at all of the symptoms and scenarios, this is the classic definition of what you see your celebrities doing. Your celebrities, your entertainers, your corporate figureheads. They do this to run and avoid their problems. And it's actually considered to be unhealthy behavior psychologically. So she rests, and then they go out to the beach and they rest and they have a good time, and then they come back, and then it's something that he says to her about how much he cares about her that she didn't quite understand. Some of your God ordained spouses, female, male, whatever the situation is, because of the position that they've been in for so long, that when you tell them with purity about certain elements of themselves that you see, they almost aren't going to get it because they're like, what do you mean? Because they've never dealt with somebody that saw them from a purity light, that could see them and didn't see them from a financial light. Who was it? I think it was Dr. G that said the other day, Keys to the Kingdom, that a man will give his body and a man will give his money, but it's very rare a man will give his heart. These people are used to giving their money, buying expensive things, doing all of this for the other person, and having sex with people, but they ain't used to somebody seeing them for who they are. That is the most scariest thing and element about them. I remember I was in a relationship years ago, and when I identified the person as who they were, they dumped me. Because that means they could no longer play that game with me because I could see right through them. So they had to dump me. Is that how that works? But he saw her, and she saw how he saw her, And she made the decision after that she was going to show him herself. Throughout the entire movie, you saw her in this purple straight hair. And if you did not know any better, you would have assumed that she just dyed her hair